Do you want some ching 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 ching? This is Matthew tuning in, and today I'm going to talk about how you can create financial freedom for yourself. And you know, we realize, I think money gives us a lot of options in life. We can go traveling without worries. We can pay our parents, you know, bills. We can help everyone in this world. And I think money is a very wonderful thing. But what we don't realize is most people, we're not taught how to build wealth. Our traditional education system, I reckon, is being flawed. Like, we weren't taught at uni and school to how to build wealth. So I'm here to teach you how you can accelerate your wealth creation journey so that you can create freedom. You can go hang out with your friends, family, go traveling. It's awesome, right? But the reality is most Australians and people around the world will retire very broke. And yes, Johnson, it's very windy, far out. I'm just like getting blown away right now. So I'm trying to stand against the wind right now, but it's extremely windy. But yeah, hey Lily, hey James, hey Ian, thanks for tuning in this video. And yeah, so what was I? So I was talking about how you can build wealth, and I'll be revealing 3 steps on how you can build wealth. And the best tip towards the end of this video is the best tip that I've used to build wealth, and it'll be extremely useful for you to build wealth. So if you're excited, by the way, comment yes. And if you're tuning in from live, comment where you're coming in from so I can give you a shout out. Hey Don, how you going, buddy? It's very windy in Sydney. I'm getting blown away. It's awesome. You want to create wealth, then listen here. And I want to start by sharing a story. And this story, I think it was about 2 years ago. And it was around April 2 years ago. I wanted money to buy an Audi. Like, all of a sudden, I wanted an Audi Q5. I think it was about $80,000. And I was working an entry-level job back then. I was dead broke, and I was trying to get the Audi because it looked cool. And then I remember asking, you know, like Lily, my fiance, and my parents, hey guys, you know, I want this Audi. And what happens is, before I start the story, I'll give the shout outs now. So Don, hey Don, tuning from London, how you going? Lily, Chinatown, hey Young Zen, how you going? So I wanted to buy an Audi. And what happened was, I remember I was very frustrated with life. I was working in a solicitor firm, and I hated that job so much. You know, the job where you just want to go and quit, but you're there for the money, right? That feeling. I was there, and I hated every single minute of my life. And then I wanted to really just quit and make my life happy. But what happened was, I wanted to replace my depression, sadness, with something that brings me happiness, and that was a car. I thought a car will solve my issues. So I wanted to go out there. I remember taking a train to Mosman in Sydney just to go to look at an Audi, and I was about to buy it. And the only issue is I was lacking money. So I asked around, you know, oh, can I get a loan for 80,000 bucks? And to me it was amazing. And then they were saying, yes, you can get it for 80,000 bucks. And then I remember going to my parents that day. I sat down on the dinner table and go, hey guys, I'm gonna buy an Audi, whether you like it or not. And my parents look at me and go, hey Matthew, are you mental in Chinese? Like, did you get hit in the head or something? And I was like, no, nothing's wrong with me. And then they said, but all of a sudden you want a car, spend 80 grand on a car. And I said to myself, no, I want to be happy, that's why I'm buying myself a car. And this is when we fought for hours. I remember hearing them going, Matthew, don't buy it. And I was really angry. I was like, I want it. This is me. I want that Audi. I work as a lawyer. I want that Audi. It's to prove my social status. And then my fiance was looking at me and go, hey Matthew, you should think about this calmly, logically. Why are you buying it? I thought to myself, yeah, why am I buying it? And the issue is, I want to use borrowed money for that. So I said, oh, I want to borrow money to buy a car. And then they said, that's not really logical decision, right? You only just graduated a year or two ago, and now you want an 80 grand car. And I said, oh yeah. I couldn't really think of words. I remember like just scratching my head and going, why am I doing this? And they said, look, if you can afford it in cash, I'll let you buy that car, but you're actually borrowing money to buy that car. And I said, yeah, but I still want to buy it. So that day I just went home and everyone was against me. I remember fighting with them and then they were all really just saying to me, hey, why are you buying this? Are you mental? And all that. And I was just contemplating and I thought to myself, I'm fed up with being broke. I'm fed up with not being able to buy the stuff I want. I'm fed up with saving every cent for no reason. Like, I wasn't earning much back then. And then, so this is when I got really fed up with being normal. You know the feeling when you just want to get out of the rat race, working 40 hours a week just for a paycheck, and then your paycheck runs out every single month? That was the frustration I felt back then. I really didn't want to walk the path of an average person. This is what I did. I YouTubed property investing. It was my sick day at work, I remember. I YouTubed property investing. I wanted to get rich somehow, so I Googled it. And then after that, I came across my mentor, my now mentor, and he was talking about how you can build wealth. And he was from Melbourne. And then all of a sudden, I wanted to reach out to him and go, hey, how did you build wealth through property? And he said, let me know what do you do right now? He go, oh yeah, I work in a job I hate. I try to save a bank account, earning 2% interest a year. I spend it all every single day, and I don't save too much, and that's all I know. And he said, Matthew, no wonder why you're broke. You're doing what 99% of people in this world are doing. Just working a job you hate for 40 hours a week, and then, just saving it and do nothing. And I was touching my head like, okay, tell me, how did you get rich? How did you get rich with this multi-million-dollar portfolio? How did you do it? And he said, this is the system that I built. What I did was, and this comes to my first tip, and that is to educate yourself. What our traditional education system has failed us in, I'm really passionate about this, and that is, we weren't taught how to deal with money, right? I graduated from a finance degree, yeah, with distinction, but that's taught me nothing. I know jack shit about building wealth. That's what I'm so amazed about. People graduating from college, master's degree, PhD, they're not even financially fluid. And what the rich does is they are financially fluid. They educate themselves every single day. They read 1 to 2 hours a day. This is why they are rich. And they don't go to college and rely on that degree, because to me, college has taught me nothing in regards to wealth. So every day, if you want to get rich, educate yourself. You want to buy shares, learn how to read, buy shares in the market. You want to know about property, know how the loan works, know which markets to buy in, know which suburbs to buy in. You want to get rich, you've got to be obsessed with wealth creation. You've got to make it your craft. Remember, repetition is the mother of perfection. Repetition is key. So make sure you repeat it every single day, educate yourself. That is how you build wealth. Now, the rich, they are very financially fluid, right? They're not those people who come in from work, watch Netflix. This is what most people do. I ask my friends, hey, what are you doing tonight? I don't know, I'm playing games. This is a TV show that I want to watch. That's a waste of time. It's what my mentor told me. He said, I don't know why people watch MasterChef, watching people cook freaking pasta, and I adopt the same beliefs as him. I'm like, yeah, why was I watching TV back then? Back then, I was watching 2 hours of drama a day. Like, I was an addict. Korean, Japanese drama, wow, I loved it. I watched every single day, and that was wonder why I was broke, because of that one reason. So make sure, if you want to build wealth, and I really want you to build wealth, because you want the financial freedom, right? You should educate yourself every single day, make it a habit, read books, get a blog, and the best of all is to get a mentor. Someone who's in the property space. If you want to build wealth with property, you want to build shares, get someone who's very talented in that space, because what you're doing is leveraging their decades of experience to build wealth in that area. Don't waste time spending decades figuring out yourself. Leverage their knowledge into a few months, few years. That's the fast way. Now onto the second point, and that is to really know the difference between passive and active income. Now, this is where most people trip themselves up. And when I know about this concept, I was like, holy crap, how does people not know about this distinction between active and passive income? So this is what the average Joe does, right? So they work in a firm, right? Like full-time job, corporate, say accountant, right? and his name's Joe. Now what Joe does is he just, okay, he's like, okay, I'm on 50 grand a year. I want more money to do stuff, you know, buy a house, buy a car. What he does is he focuses on promotions. That's all he can do, right? So what he does is he gets promoted and works even harder for that promotion. Gets promoted to manager, he works even harder and harder and harder. Now what the trap about this approach is, just to focus on promotions, is you are trading time for money. Does that make sense? Do not trade time for money. And this is what Robert Kiyosaki said in Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you don't know that book, I highly recommend you to read it, because it made me shift my mindset in regards to wealth. So what happens is, if you trade time for money, if you lose your job, because life is unpredictable, right? If you lose your job like that, which I did, you know, 2 years ago, I lost my job, I got fired from my law firm. That income is forever gone. You got nothing else to rely on. So if you, for example, rely on active income throughout your whole life, all the way until retirement. At retirement, you only got whatever you saved up. So that is active income. And the key to distinguish between active and normal income is, ask this question to yourself. Write this down. How many times am I getting paid for my efforts? If the answer is 1, that is active income. So if you work 40 hours a week to earn that paycheck, that is active income. Now what the rich knows, and what very few people do know, is that you got to build passive income. Now passive income, the income you work once and it comes to you perpetually. For example, authors, they write one book, right? And they publish it. And they get royalties coming in. So write the book once, that's one effort, and then the income comes to you for a lifetime. And for my favorite is property. So rather than just not really using your money, for example, you put in your bank account, it's not doing much, right? I'd rather invest the money they've saved up into assets that go up in value. So don't buy cars and stuff that they go down in value. You want to build wealth, you need assets that go up in value and gives you passive income. So shares, property is my favorite. And to me, this is why property is my favorite. Look, you buy a house, you chuck in a tenant, right? And that tenant has to go out and work 40 hours a week as your slave to bring in the rent. Now, how does that feel? Rather than you work, you make another person work for you. Isn't that amazing, right? Now, it's a different mindset. Most people, they think about, oh crap, I've got to get a promotion, I've got to work harder and harder and harder, get that second, third, fourth, 5 jobs. No, that is active income. Make sure you focus on passive income. Buy those assets, buy those shares. And in order to do that, this leads to my last tip, and this is very important, and that is to spend less than you earn. This may seem very basic. Spend less than you earn, but most people do not follow this. Like me back then, I always ran out of money every single month. I was earning this amount of money for a part-time job. Why am I just having 0 at the end of every single month, right? And I didn't understand this at all. So common knowledge is not common practice. So you can know about, okay, I gotta save, but you don't do it. The same as not knowing, that's my opinion. Doing and knowing and not doing is not the same as doing. You gotta be able to do it, be able to apply this. So make sure you don't listen to this and just go, oh yeah, I'll just go spend and not invest. Make sure this is not another video. Make sure you understand that you gotta save up for your retirement. Otherwise you won't be able to, you know, live the life of abundance. Picture, you know, for me, the reason why I'm working so hard is I want to retire my dad. He's still working, self-employed, 67, and I really want to retire him. He's worked so hard for his life, right? I want to provide for my family. I don't want them to work until they're 90, right? I want them to enjoy life. And this is all it's about. Money is not just for yourself. I reckon it's for giving out to other people. And that's very, very, to me, it's very touching. This is why I'm working so hard for them. So make sure you take this message seriously. Make sure you apply it. Save more than you earn. And I recommend at least 10% of your net income goes into your savings account. And I recommend at minimum, I reckon 20% is what you should aim for. So if you earn $1,000 a week, make sure $200 go into a savings account. And if you follow this very carefully, then your savings pool, every month it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it reaches critical mass, and that's when you invest that into those passive income assets that I'm talking about. So not your shares, not your cars, not your Mercedes, not your new TV, and not that big holiday. Now, I'm an advocate of enjoying life. So I'm not saying do not buy stuff they enjoy. I reckon life is too short. Treasure it. Treasure every minute. But there's this distinction between, there's a difference between spending too much above your means and spending reasonably. So make sure you keep that under control. So I recommend 30% max on discretionary spending. So 30%, that's the rule. So 50% on your essential needs, your rents, whatever, food. 30% on discretionary spending. So it could be your car, it can be your, eating out, movies, haircuts, and 20%, very important, is to save up. Now, you follow these 3 tips, by the way, I guarantee you will experience a huge difference in your wealth. It's taken me a long time to build this discipline, but this has gotten me to where I am today. And most people, they still don't understand how to build wealth. They focus on active income and not passive income. So that's the first tip, passive over active. Does that make sense? Comment yes. Now onto the second point, just recapping, is to educate yourself. Remember, we weren't taught how to build money, build wealth through our university system, through high school. Make sure you educate yourself through books, get a mentor in that field, someone who's done it before, so you can leverage off their experience. Leverage is key. Do not waste time figuring out yourself, because in property, for example, if you buy the wrong property, it will cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Now think about it, if you're paying, say, a mentor a couple of $1,000 to save hundreds of dollars, to me it's a no-brainer. That's why I forked out a lot of money for my mentors, so I can learn from them, and I did not make a mistake yet. And that's, fingers crossed, I don't make a mistake again. But this is why it's so important that you educate yourself. It's very, very important. 1 to 2 hours a day, read on books, of anything. And the last point is really just to focus on saving up. Save more than you earn. Sorry, it was spend less than you earn, that's right. So make sure you have that 20% rule and spend within reasonable means. Do not spend above your earning capacity. That is why most people, they rely on credit cards every day, and this is why they run out of money all the time. So thank you very much for listening. Give you a shout out, Lily, Naz, and I see Don in there as well, and I see Jess, Eric, Winnie, and Louise. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you've got any questions, by the way, you can drop them down and I'll answer it after this live video. Anything to do with wealth, I'm very happy to answer it. So drop them down before, and I'm gonna get going because it's so windy. So thank you very much for listening. I'll see you on the next video soon. Take care.